In order for you to bring about the transformation that you desire in your life, it needs to start with a sense of consciousness that life is not all that I envisage it to be. So I need to dig a little bit deeper. So how do you dig a little bit deeper? By having a self-assessment, evaluating yourself and coming to the realization that I need to do more. I need to do more. I need to get more out of myself. Society has indoctrinated us in such a way that we are even confused about our own being, and we take it as a norm, and we try to fit in. We try to be like everybody else. And I'll say nobody has ever made it in this life by being mediocre or getting into the box with everybody else. So most of the people that you celebrate, admire, desire to be like, admire, and desire to even dress like, these people stood out. They stood out of the norm. They stood out of the way society said they should be or should act or should react. And all of this brought their unique individuality, that brought their identity and made them stood out from the rest. So if you want to stand out from the rest and you want to be different, not even the idea of being different, but living your purpose, living you, being you, and just being authentic, right? Being you. I mean, integrity. That this is who I am and I'm being that, and this is what I want to be and I'm being that. So coming to this conscious reality opens your mind to the possibility of you maximizing your full potential in every area of life that you have been gifted to operate in. That is our sole objective. But now, even religion in itself has been packaged and branded. No, don't get me wrong. We need all branding, right? You need to brand. You need to brand yourself because your unique individuality is your brand. Your unique compartment, that is your package that you came into this world with, is your brand. Now, through association, you can be able to pick something left and right to actually modify, or let me say reap or package, not package actually, but actually present your brand. In order to present your brand, definitely culture has an effect on you, but that doesn't mean that culture has an effect to the extent that it wipes out your identity, your unique individuality. That is what I'm trying to project, because now people are being projected through ideologies these days. Through ideologies. I don't know what your box is. Is it a Democrat box, a Republican box, and a Muslim box, a Christian box? I don't know. Maybe, how can I call it? The free movement and every other kind of isms that exist out there. You see what I'm saying? So people have been clocked into these boxes, and now we are being identified based on the box I'm in. And I want to say that is not taking us anywhere. Even preachers are branded. Preachers are branded. We have people that want to look like other people. People who want to preach like other people. People who want to dress like other people. We want to step on the pulpit and react just like other people. That is, we don't have our own uniqueness that brings the difference in the people's life that we are being called to touch or called to preach to. So it is all about niche, right? It's just business. It's niche. Yeah, who's your niche and what are you coming up with on the table? But now your unique individuality, which is your niche that you came on earth with, makes you stand out from the rest. And you can actually brand your unique individuality and produce the best possible outcome that can change the world, or change your world, or change the lives of the people that you were created to touch. Because everybody, I don't care if we have 100 or 1,000 preachers in the community, and you are called in that community to become a preacher, there are some individuals, some group of people that will only relate and be transformed by your message. And that message brings out your unique identity and makes it relevant to the people who hear your message. And I think that is the beauty of it. You know, I remember us having some posts or putting up some posts on our platform. But guess what? We realized that when the post actually comes from our heart, it relates more with people than us copying from other places and posting on our platform. I'm not saying what the other people are posting is not relevant, but what engages people more is what comes out genuinely from our heart. And that in itself is telling us that we have a unique message. Every individual, every person living in this world, we are about 8 billion people in this world right now, and you have a unique potential and unique ability to reach a certain demography or certain group of people. And what makes you stand out is your experience, your story, and above all, what God placed in the inside of you. How can you find that? Interesting question. The reason why it is hard for us to find out is because, first of all, we are living in other people's boxes. So in order for you to even find out your real identity, even if you're brought out of that box and you are being told that this is who you were created to be, it is hard for you to come into grasp with that. Because the first step into finding your purpose is to come to the realization that I need to step out of any box that defines me. So when you come out of that box that defines you, then you are open to the possibility of realizing who you are. And that makes you understand or come to terms with yourself, like, I am not the box I am in. I am not who I am because of this group of people. I am not who I am because of what these people perceive me to be. I'm not who I am because of a history of my so-called race or whatever you want to check on. And obviously that boils down to it, right? Because people, wherever you are present in the world, people always want to identify you with something. It is a natural human tendency to always address or identify people with a certain group, with a certain culture, with where they are coming from, with where they have been. It is a natural tendency. So it was hard even for us to understand Jesus based on his unique individuality and his unique assignment, which was the Savior of the world. It was hard to come into grasp with this. He had all sorts of trouble with the religious leaders. And you ask yourself the question, who are these religious leaders? The religious leaders are his own people, his own clan, his own group, his own village, his own community, his own countrymen. These were the people Jesus had the most trouble with. And now you see his assignment and you see where he's coming from, you see his challenges, his oppositions. Then you start asking the question, where is he from? Why is it that he doesn't relate or fit in with these people? Why are they so against him? Why do they want to kill him? He was ostracized in the ministry at his early age when he stood up and read his first sermon or first text. He was ostracized. They wanted to kill him. And he later on went out there and built a team to be able to transmit the information, which is still relevant today. So the question becomes, is Jesus' purpose tied to his background? Obviously, there's some truth to that, right? We all know salvation came through the Jews, and actually God picked the Jews as his chosen people. But Jesus' identity or his purpose, his unique individuality did not fit into the Jewish culture or the Jewish ideology of what a Messiah would look like. So we are looking at this individual and trying to relate or classify him or make him relevant to us based on his clan, his history, and where he's coming from. But his mission does not reflect him being tied just to his clan. You see what I'm saying? So your unique individuality in the world, looking at what Jesus represents to us today, the Gentiles, that we are now Christians preaching this word across the globe, what this tells us is your assignment or purpose in life cannot be limited to a geographical location, cannot be limited to where you are from. Because if your theology or your essence of being or living or existing is limited to where you are from, then you have not yet found your purpose. If Jesus is your barometer, then your purpose should transcend your culture. Your essence should transcend what society says about you or what society clocks you in. I'm talking about the box society has clocked you in. Your purpose should transcend whatever society is trying to label or place you in. And we see this in the life of Peter. We see this in the life of James, John, in the lives of Paul, Timothy, Barnabas. All these people, at the end of the day, by any stretch of the imagination, at the end of the day, these people's writings, their life, their theology, their essence of living has touched the entire globe. And I think that is real self-actualization. In its deepest sense, that is self-actualization. For your concept, your essence, your being to be able to transcend your geographical location, to transcend your culture, transcend the people that you grew up knowing, without which you have not yet found your purpose. And this goes to the people who are racist. This goes to the people who pick or look down on others. This goes to the people who feel like they are the chosen people and the rest of the people out there are garbage, or the rest of the people are slums. If that is your concept of or your concept or essence of being, then you have not fully self-actualized. Because self-actualization comes from seeing yourself and your being and your essence as a universal contribution to the world or nature or to God. That is where your self-actualization fully materializes, when your concept or essence of being transcends cultures. So if what you are doing or saying only relates with a few, then you need to reevaluate whatever it is you are producing, if there is no long-term effect. And we see this in the sense that the Great Commission tells us to go into the world and preach the gospel. You start at home, but your sole objective is not to end at home. He said Samaria, he said in Judea, Samaria, and to the outermost part of the earth. That was the commandment. You preach this message in Judea, in Samaria, and into the outermost part of the earth. So if that is the case, then if your sole objective or the substratum, the foundation of whatever it is, whatever gift you believe in your heart you were called to present to the world, if that gift in 100 years, 200 years will only end within the confines of your community, then you need to reevaluate that. We can do more. And doing good or enjoying and having a perfect life doesn't mean you are really living a fulfilled life. There is a difference between having a good life and having a fulfilled life. I'm talking about a fulfilled life, a life that you can come into grasp with an inner peace that can only resonate from achieving your purpose or living a fulfilled life. Hope we get this. I mean, this is so beautiful. I've just been all over the place, but I'm trying to get a point here. And it's at the end of the day is humans want to be relevant, everybody. And we live in the age of social media. This dispensation actually has brought us a lot of opportunities that we can utilize to actually reach the world in the twinkle of an eye. There are some people who publish songs on iTunes and YouTube, and in a couple of days, they are hitting billions of views, millions of views on iTunes and YouTube, which implies that we are now exposed to the possibilities of reaching the wall within the twinkle of an eye. In a twinkle of an eye, we can actually do that. So now, crafting and branding yourself and finding your self-identity now comes into play. And once you find this, you'll never be the same again, because you will reach millions. And even after you die, your message is still going to thrive. If you're going to die and everything about you dies, then you never lived. Because many people live after they die.